Okay, so this video is going to be a little bit different. This is episode 6, and instead of actually going through the actual LCCA calculator, what this video is going to be useful for going forward is kind of describing how PVs work, like how present values work, what they're useful for, opportunity cost, discount values, how to discount cash flows, and stuff like that. So first, to get started, what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe opportunity cost. So what an opportunity cost, think of it like this. If we have $5 in our wallet today, right? So we have a few options, right? We can either save that $5, keep it in our wallet, have absolutely nothing, do nothing with it essentially. Or we could put that money into some sort of bond, maybe your savings account, something that pays, a small amount of interest, but enough that it makes it worth it. So in 1 year time, this is going to pay me back $1. So it's going to give $6. So I'm going to pay $5 today. And then in $6 time, I'm going to receive my $5 back plus $1 interest, right? So right here, you can already see that if you were to be presented with this option, you would have taken this right here, right? If you're going to leave your $5 in your wallet for an entire year, why wouldn't you just go and invest that into a savings account or something that's going to pay you back a little bit of interest, right? So right here, you're going to see is the opportunity cost is -1 over here, but it's +1 over here, i.e. the cost of leaving $5 in your wallet is going to be essentially $1. Now let's go into this exact situation, and let's say that your friend just came to you, and he's a very credible person. He's not going to scam you, and he's going to pay you back 100%. And he offers that, okay, well, if you give me $5 today, he's going to do a business or something like that. He'll pay you back $10 guaranteed in 1 year time. Right? So now this changes everything up a little bit more, right? So now the opportunity cost of leaving $5 in your wallet is $5, because if you're going to leave it in there for an entire year, and you're not going to give it to your friend who's going to be able to give you $10 back in the future, you're essentially losing out on $5 there. And same with the savings bond. And now, as opposed to -1, or sorry, 0, it would be a -4. So essentially, the opportunity cost of you going and investing this in a savings account or something like that is going to equal -4. So essentially, that summarizes kind of what an opportunity cost is. And now we're kind of going to need to travel a little bit closer to interest rates, the financial side of present values and everything. So right now, think about this kind of certain scenario, right? But instead of this $10 being risk-free, let's say that there's a 50% chance that your friend's not going to pay you back, right? So in that scenario, because of the way that we're looking at this from a construction perspective, we are taking the discount rate as the risk-free rate, and so it's either the prime rate or some other rate that essentially denotes a risk-free rate of return or risk-free. So essentially, it denotes the fact that if I go and invest not $5, if I were to invest some money today, what is the one thing that I could invest in with 0% risk, like literally zero risk? And the one thing that would be is T-bills and stuff like that. And so T-bills, what you could essentially do is find the rate of interest that they return. So if they return a 5% rate of interest, that essentially means that your opportunity cost of leaving any money in your pocket for any amount of time is always going to be this 5% per year, right? Because if let's just say, for example, that this 5% equates to 6, even though it doesn't, right? But let's just say that it did. Your opportunity cost of not doing anything would be that $1, but it would be the 5%, right? And so that's the whole idea of present value, is that money today isn't worth money tomorrow. And so if you're promised $100 in 10 years time, right? You have to discount that to understand what you would pay for that, right? And this is the whole idea with bonds and stuff like that, is and loans where you're purchasing the face value for less than the amount, like you're purchasing at a discount because you're essentially purchasing it at you're getting the difference as interest. So if you were offered $100, in 100 years time, in 10 years time, I hope nobody would be paying $100 today for it, especially given the fact that we've already established that we can earn a risk-free rate of 5% on our money, right? So, and this is like, you can actually do evaluations with non-risk-free rates and essentially using the rate that you would want to receive. However, because of the fact that we're assuming that we don't want any inherent risk on top of that, and any investment that we would make would just be just the bare minimum, this is the rate that we're going to be using. So essentially how you would be doing that is you're discounting it by the amount of years that you see fit. So instead of this $100, you're not going to be paying $100 today. You might be paying closer to $80 or maybe even $70 or something like that. And although these numbers are just fictitious because I haven't actually worked them out, this is essentially the theory behind it, right? If somebody offered you $100 in 10 years time, you would only be paying at most $70, maybe even 60, maybe even 50 if you're somebody who believes that you could make more money on the market, right? So the whole idea of discounting cash flows is essentially to show the current cost or the current value in today's dollars.